Some time ago, a young millennial approached me for help. She had been depressed for months. She had recently attempted suicide just 2 days before. Her prescription antidepressants were not helping, and she wanted to give up. I asked her to say the Evergreen Blossom Prayer with me. After reciting the prayer, she felt someone embrace her. "Do you feel a presence?" I asked her. "Yes," she said. "Are you frightened by the presence?" I asked her. "No," she said. "Do you feel safe with the presence?" "Yes," she replied. "Who is this presence?" I asked her. "I don't know," she said, "but it feels like a woman. She's very pure." Little did she know, it was none other than the Blessed Mother embracing her. The love of the Blessed Mother brought her to tears. The embrace of the Blessed Mother stayed with her throughout the day, as if trying to prevent another suicide attempt. I suspect the embrace of the Blessed Mother made her think twice. For the next few days, she made baby steps to change her choices. She began eating more. She went back to school. She started looking for a job. Thanks to the Blessed Mother and her Evergreen Blossom Prayer, this young millennial found the courage and willingness to live and love again. So what is the Evergreen Blossom Prayer? Evergreen Blossom is a prayer from the Blessed Mother with transformative effects. For example, when you're feeling depressed, lonely, or blue, then the Evergreen Blossom Prayer acts as a balancer. The Evergreen Blossom Prayer, or EBP for short, balances your mental and emotional bodies, matching your negative feelings and states with positive ones, so that your negative states are short-lived. The result is a balanced, peaceful body-mind. Occasionally, at the discretion of divine intelligences that work through the prayer, you may receive occasional doses of paradise, as if you are living in the Garden of Eden, basking in the Creator's love. Paradise, after all, is heaven on earth. EBP has many transformative effects, but my personal favorite is this. Just as you were about to fall off the cliff of suicidal depression without knowing it, the celestial divinities that work through the prayer can grab you before you fall and comfort you, then balance you, so you can make a different choice, so you can choose love. EBP also enables high-definition or HD conversations with heavenly beings and God as an alternative to negative, depressing, or suicidal inner dialogue. These are just a few of the many transformative effects that come with the Evergreen Blossom Prayer. So allow me now to answer some questions about EBP that were submitted before this call. In the meantime, grab your paper and pen so that if new questions pop up in your head while I'm speaking, you can write those questions down. Later, after this brief presentation, I'll take questions from the audience. That will be the time for you to raise your precious new questions. What does EBP do to all energy bodies and the physical body? EBP affects the spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical bodies in a very subtle, transformative way. But EBP's main targets are the emotional and mental bodies. EBP uses divine love, divine energies, and many energetic ingredients from Mother Nature to balance and stabilize the emotional and mental energy bodies of a person. When the emotional and mental bodies become balanced, the physical body follows, becoming healthier in the short and long term. Does EBP have a healing effect? Yes. Is EBP suitable for Humpty Dumpty situations? Humpty Dumpty is an analogy for a situation wherein a soul falls from a high place of grace and then shatters. It is also used to describe a soul that has been badly mutilated by an act of evil. EBP is not designed to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Putting Humpty Dumpty together again requires more complex solutions, like spiritual or psychic surgery, which is beyond the scope of EBP. But EBP can facilitate the healing and repair process. How can I fully maximize the benefits of the Evergreen Blossom Prayer and meditations? How may I use the EBP for divine collaborations? How do I know if my commitment is enough or worthy? The answer to these three questions would entail a lengthy discussion. In the interest of saving time, I'll answer all three questions with one answer. Take the Evergreen Intuition tutorial so you can learn to converse with omniscient divinities such as the Blessed Mother, Ascended Masters, or God, and then ask them yourself. Their answers will be a lot better than mine. I also received several questions about the Evergreen Blossom meditations, so I'll answer them now briefly. What is the purpose of the Evergreen Blossom meditations? The purpose is to program or mold the energies of the incoming year to be favorable and conducive to your wishes, petitions, and other items in your wish list. It goes without saying that we will be enlisting the help of heaven and the creative forces to fulfill your Sukkot wish list during the incoming year. May I address my wish list to multiple deities? Yes, of course. May I continue adding to my wish list as I continue to attend the meditations? Yes, you may add, modify, or delete items in your list all the way to October 14, 2018. After October 15, you may tuck your list away in a sealed envelope and don't open the envelope until September 2019. What can I do to prepare myself for the meditations? 1. Register at http://tiny.cc/EBP meditation, all lowercase. You will receive 2 emails. One is an appointment confirmation email with meeting location and other details. The second is an email acknowledging that you are registered. It details the preparations for you to make before joining the meditation. I also received several questions about the Evergreen Blossom activation. Since Blessed Mother has postponed the activations to next year, 2019, there's no rush to answer your questions on this subject today. I will answer them instead in future emails and Q&A calls. And lastly, I'd like to invite you to experience the Evergreen Blossom Prayer through a free trial. Just go to www.lilyandbeyond.com/EBP. Thank you, and may you have an Evergreen Blossom Day. There's a question that was given to us that says, that's asking to illustrate the beneficial effects of the Evergreen Blossom Prayer on the psychosomatic bodies. That means in the emotional and physical bodies. And I would like to invite Monette to share her story of her mother's amazing physical recovery under the influence of EBP. Please note that Monette's testimonial is not a guarantee that you will achieve the same or similar results. So go ahead, Monette.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for this invitation, Kim. I asked my mom if I could share her story with you, and she was very happy and gladly consented. So let me tell you about it. Before the EBP, my mom is 82 years old, and she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And it's a miracle that she's still with us because she was given until December of before Christmas last year. And it has always been a miracle each day that she is with us. And her life has been a miracle for all of us. It's a beautiful experience of love. So before the EBP, my mom's health would go up and down. And sometime July, Mom's recovery was very slow after the last hospitalization due to a serious case of pneumonia. Okay. So she first heard about the EBP trial when we tried it on for free, and I asked her if she wanted to listen to that. At the time, she was about 2 weeks away to the hospital. Our suspicion that she had again pneumonia was confirmed. And so she was very weak then. And I didn't expect her to really be into the free trial, understanding what it was. But amazing that at the end of the free trial, the first live free trial, um, she told me, Monette, I heard that a free video trial is gonna be prepared. Will you please let me know if that is up? I would like to listen to it again. So fast track, we're already in the hospital about 3 weeks after, and I completely forgot about that. In the middle of our very difficult struggle with pneumonia, she happened to ask me again. And she even iterated the request through her nurse. She said, Monette, is the free video trial ready? I'd like to listen to it. Mom, are you sure you can do that? Yes, just put it on my ears for me to listen to. So I did that. I asked the permission of Kim if it was ready for sharing. And to my surprise, it was. So she listened to it. At that time, because we were so concerned with the deteriorating case of my mom, uh, I just prayed myself with EBP that whatever is the highest will of divine, that she be embraced. Um, little did we know that towards the end of her hospitalization, certain unexplainable, I would call miracle happened. Eventually, she was treated with pneumonia. Her pneumonia was very baffling, although very serious. She almost didn't make it. Second, her lung fluid, they call pleural effusion, which has been there and which was seen as a sign of metastasis in the lungs, somehow considerably decreased until her drain tubes were removed. And that has baffled everyone again. Okay. That's the only thing that allows the doctors to surmise that there is metastasis, because why can't the fluid, dry up? Surprisingly, it dried up. So we went home because she's recovered from pneumonia. But she still felt weak. She can't go back to her original state, which was not having oxygen with her. So she had oxygen 24 hours a day, and she still felt weak. Now, an emergency happened. I was woken up uh, in the middle of the night to come down because she was having chest pains. Now, for me, that was like a warning, chest pains. And out of 10 being the highest in terms of level of pain for her to tolerate, she was at 8. And her pulse rate, which should be normal at a maximum of 80 for her age, was like runaway 98 to 104 beats per minute. I happened to experience what 90 beats per minute would look like, and really I wouldn't be able to sleep because it's just palpitating very strongly. So with her age, it's 98. And her respiratory rate, the rate with which she breathes, maximum normal for her should be 20. Ideally, it's 12. But she was breathing at 25 minutes, 25 heaves per minute and going up. So do we take her to the emergency room? In which case, it was predictable what was going to happen, and her situation may not be alleviated in time. So I prayed the EBP and asked the Blessed Mother what would be most appropriate. And she wanted to pray the EBP. So she prayed the EBP. I prayed the EBP as well. And surprisingly, I had the nurse do the vitals again. And her pulse rate within 4 minutes' time went down to 84 beats. And her respiratory rate went down to 22. And I asked her about the chest pain, which was my main concern. And she said, It's down to 2. 5 more minutes and it's 0. But by early morning, all her vitals were normal. Okay. And so that was so exciting, and she was so happy with it. So she started to not have oxygen in the morning. She would have it in the evening to support her while sleeping, but she was out of it in the morning. And you could see the friends saw her, standing up, going around, wearing her clothes, wearing her, because she wants to, she's such a fashionista, that's her self-expression. And she was happy. And now she started to ask me, Monette, I'd like to pray the EBP. Monette, I'd like to pray the EBP. And because of and so I asked Kim, what can we do? My mom keeps repeating, request that she wants to pray the EBP. So she was given a copy. She was given the prayer. She was allowed to have the prayer and to have her own discovery and experience with the Blessed Mother. So I let her be. She had a copy of the prayer, and then I just let her be. And then 20 days after, that was about last week, 20 days after, in one of our conversations in the morning, she just happened to say, Monette, she said, um, the EBP, I just learned something. And what was that, Mom? I said, um, I'm the cause of everything. I just got, and she was smiling. She was not like, she was into self blame. She was like smiling. I learned that I'm the cause of everything. And that was powerful for me. I'm here where I am because of me. And I said, what do you mean? And I said, I'm the vessel. The vessel and the creator are one. I'm one with the creator. And what does that give you, Mom? And she said, oh, I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled. And that is great power. She looked at me in the eye and she said, like a secret, she said, I discovered great power. That's why humility is very, very important. She told me. And my brother came in at lunch and he saw how my mom is so present. Usually she would have fits of um, uh, mixing memories. She wasn't so sharp in her memory because of her situation. But she's so sharp. And she shares about these things. And she would even tell me, Monette, while I pray it every day, um, the nurse would put the testing for the oxygen saturation, and I would get a 98%. Guys, 98% is the normal among us. Someone who has an oxygen in the evening, the tolerance level that the doctor gives her is 92 is okay. It's normal for her 92. So when she gets 98, 97, 99, wow, that's amazing. So we continue to be, and most of all, she's happy. She's very relaxed. She's very calm. It's easy to be bored, and she gets easily bored, but she doesn't. She smiles a lot. She's so at peace. Of course, she still has her ups and downs, but then she recovers quickly. She even tells us, oh, that's okay. I've managed it already. So we are so blessed by this love, divine love that is in us and between us. It's such a beautiful gift, and I'm ever grateful to the Blessed Mother for this gift. Thank you, Kim.
Wow. Wow, Manette. I mean, wow. You just upstaged me and stole my thunder, but that's okay. I love you for it. That was an amazing, amazing story. And quite frankly, it just made my day. So thank you so much for sharing that with us and with
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Okay. So
You're very welcome.
stick around, Manette. There may be some questions for you later. Okay. So see,
Okay.
some of our viewers, some of our audience are saying, wow, okay, it really was a wow story. Thank you so much for that. And let your mom know, Manette, thank you very much from all of us. And tell her Wow.
I will. She'll
Or
be excited to hear.
I think what they say is pak, right, in the Philippines? Something like
Yes.
okay, thank you so very much. Okay, next, there was another question that was asked, and I'm going to call our next guest speaker, Andrea, to answer it. The question is, what are the long-term effects of evergreen blossom prayer, and how may it impact one's future? And I thought when I came across this question, I thought that the best way to answer this is to ask someone who has experienced evergreen blossom in the past and present her perspective from the past and then her experience in the future, which is current time. So thank you very much, Andrea. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Uh, I will answer one by one of your questions.
Um,
So,
mhm.
so what are the long-term effect of EPP? Um, I see a lot of changes in my life before and after EPP. Before the EPP, I'm very stressed because of too much physical pain from my injuries, and as well as several emotional crises all the time. Because of the accumulations of attachments, of pains, and I don't know what I'm currently do about it. And I had a identity crisis, a lot of depressions, especially suicidal depressions, and anger, depression as well as oppressions. So after the EPP, I started using every day, and I see a lot of changes in the physical body. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of repairing process, and I feel so much better. And before the EPP, I had a lot of several therapies, psychologies, everything. Almost 3 to 6 persons per month. And now, when I use the EPP, down to 3 persons only. And after 3 to 4 months, I already had one therapist. The body therapist no longer. I'm no longer going back to Jungian psychologist anymore. I rely on the APP. It's very much easier because I find the APP more faster answers than the Jungian psychologist right after. The reason why I went to the Jungian psychologist so that I could feel safe in the human self. So because of I found out the APP, I had a lot of issues with abandonment issues. That's why I went to Jungian psychologist so that I can resolve all my abandonment issues. So after 3 to 4 months, when I feel better about and resolve my abandonment issue, I'm no longer going back to Jungian psychology. So I went back to body therapist. So I feel inspired to heal my physical body. And then I went to swimming. Usually I don't like sports. I hate sport. I hate exercises. But then Blessed Mothers keep inspiring me to say it's time to move. It's time to feel love in my physical body. So I started swimming because that was the recommended my therapist. And I feel a lot of changes in my physical body. Even I don't understand what's going on. I was skeptical at first. How come the swimming helps me changes my life? Whereas before, when I do yoga, it doesn't change me. It makes me feel more pain and more worse than the swimming. I was like, what happened? So I started to take swimming lessons so that I know how to swim better. And after 3 months, I started to see the physical body changes. Like I can move. I retrain my muscles memory to shift my physical body, so I know how to coordinate like left and right, how to move my body better. And then I started to lose weight for almost 18 pounds because I did not know at first that I lost so much weight. I only realized it because my clothes doesn't fit me anymore. Imagine my extra large, my size extra large. I usually size extra large to medium to large size. So it was huge changes. So I have to change the whole wardrobe of of my clothes because it doesn't fit me anymore. So not only that changes my family and everyone else say, you lost weight, you don't even realizing it. I don't know. And they keep telling me, why are you losing weight? Are you obsessed with the beautiful or something? Do you have a boyfriend or anything? I said, no, I was having physical pain, I need to release that pain because I could not sleep properly if I have so much pain. Then after 4 months, I feel so much better. I can walk properly. I can walk longer hours, the whole day. And like before, I only can walk half day. Now I can walk whole day from morning to night time. So, and then after swimming, my body started feel doesn't like it anymore. Then my body wants something more movement. And then the therapist kept telling it's time to change the exercise. At first I want Pilates, but my body doesn't want it. So I had a crisis and I found out that the body wants me to go abroad for taking a break. So I went to Singapore. That was last few days ago. I went to Singapore and tried the hula dance. And my body's like it. And this is my first time that I feel hope in my physical body. I thought that I thought that feeling hope, like growing hope, is inside my heart and my mind. And I found out it's not just mind and heart, but also the whole physical body. I was crying a lot and a lot and said, I understand what is meant by feeling love in my whole being. So from then on, everything shifted around me, and I said, "This is the answer to my needs." And then my mental mind, I don't have a mental boundaries before now. It started to shift. It's like my mind feel inspired and see the change in my physical body and feeling God's present in my physical body while doing the hula movements, dancing movement. It's a way of being. I could feel the way of being, the way feeling love in my physical body while I'm dancing. It's like this is it. This is the answers to myself. I want that. So and then I started to realize my laziness issue started to resolve. I no longer feel lazy anymore, and my body wants to move. And no longer feeling immobilized. My body said, okay, it's time to move on. I still have pain in the physical, but it's a small, subtle one. But it will take time because the muscles needs to have a power to move. Because imagine 6 years, I have feeling pain for 6 years, and my muscles are totally weak. And now my muscles I need to train my muscles to become stronger and stronger. So I need more time to exercise. But I feel patient about it because every time I do exercise or dancing, I see a new perceptions about like new things. I can see a lot of unconscious separations coming out, a lot of negative beliefs coming out, and allow it to come out and feel love about it because all those coming out, all those negative feelings coming out or shadows are telling me the story of what happens to me before or in the past when I childhood. So I keep on acknowledging and accept it. And then from then on, I realized a lot of shifted, not just mind, physical, and heart. And when I come back to Manila from Singapore, my family started to shift. And I feel like I see my mom smiling at me for the first time my whole life. Imagine never smile. So I was like, oh, this is it. And I see now why I got stressed about life is because I did not see myself worthy, especially in my physical body. I feel like I have to torture my physical body a lot, and now no more feeling that way. I feel inspired to do something more. And EPP helps me to make me feel stronger. Before I feel weaker, I feel oppressed. I feel like I cannot do anything. Now, the EPP inspired me to make me feel stronger that I can do it regardless of what happens in my life. So, how may impact in the future? This really helps me to balance myself, especially in the physical body. I thought I lacked grounding on earth. and I realized I lack balancing in my physical body. So I before because I hate my physical body so much. I neglected it. It's because I thought in my mind that physical body is not important. And now after the hula dance, it changes the perspective about the physical body. I started to take care of myself. I started to clean up because I like to see beauty in everything I do and everything around me. But I'm not obsessed about it. It's just feeling how to feel love in everything I do. So I started to see the beauty in in having feeling love. So it's like, oh, this is the answers to my prayers, and it's the answers to what I need. I really wanted to feel love. I really wanted to feel whole in my family, in everywhere I go. I can see my separations. I thought that what happens around in the government or relations is their problem. And I realized there's so many inside me. I can see a lot of separations. The aim is for me to change. I said, okay, I'm willing to work on. I'm willing to work on my issues. I'm willing to work on so that I can feel free and freedom and love in everything I do. And I sleep better afterwards. I'm able to sleep better because I feel safe. I feel safe in my physical body, and my stress started to subside. I no longer feel stressed. I thought I need to go to stress mindfulness program, and now the EBPs, I don't need those things anymore. I don't attend. I supposed to attend it, but decided to back out because it doesn't feel safe. So I said, and I already realized it's already resolved. I didn't even realize because when I feel at home in my physical body, everything, all the negative beliefs and all the feeling of stress, or feeling of emotional pains are totally released on its own without even realizing it. And I feel so much, and then I lost cravings in my food. And before I love eating, I keep craving foods. Now no more. And there's some, and they're tempting me to eat so many food. I don't crave. I don't tempted to eat. I don't have any feelings of temptations anymore. So this is my first time experience in my life that I feel so much relief. So much lighter, and my discernment started to improve, and my boundaries started to improve as well. And I'm able to start. I want to start from scratch again on how to improve my life in outside of me, like from work, from family, everything. I like to start everything again on how to improve more. And I started to feel more forgiving. It's like I no longer feel like I am very powerful person. No, I don't feel like that anymore. I feel much more love. So even if I have those issues like ego and started to melt out, I feel the Blessed Mother's melt all my ego, all my stubbornness, all my resistance. I could feel that.
Mhm.
So that's all. This is my experience. So I don't know if it works for others, but this is my experience that I feel that EBPs really work for me. And I love it so much. Of all the prayers I received, EBP is so much giving me so much changes in my whole life.
Thank you. I observed Andrea for several months as she was saying the Evergreen Blossom Prayer every day. And in just 2 months, and then 3 months, and then 4 months, I saw really rapid growth and really rapid development in her. It just amazed me. She was like a bullet train. Okay. So I have to say, though, that please note that Andrea's testimonial is not a guarantee that you will achieve the same or similar results. What we mean is you might not lose weight with the Evergreen Blossom Prayer Andrea did, okay? Don't expect that. But as you heard from Andrea's story, there was a lot of improvement, a lot of changes in her in just a matter of months. Monette, could you share with us what you noticed were the long-term effects of the Evergreen Blossom Prayer on you?
Um, the first thing that was very palpable to me is that um, you know the interferences, like when you're playing a radio or television and there are like many interferences, you don't get a full HD solid solid view.
Mm-hmm.
I get that a lot when I'm full with experiences in my emotional and mental bodies. It's like interferences that get in the way, and sometimes they deflect me uh, from my intention of what I've set up to do. I noticed that with EBP, it targets those two things. With me, every day it's like a dose of cleaning, like like a lady inside of me opens the curtains, clears it every day. And
Mm-hmm.
when that happens, my emotional and mental experience is more one of stability. So I relate very well with what you said about it being a balancer. Now that is a very, very powerful and potent intervention, I think.
Yeah.
It is not just about feeling paradise. It really is essential so that I get to be clear, I get to be functional, operational if I want to be on anything that I've set myself to do. So that in relationship, it's like looking at people like a fresh, beautiful morning instead of like a hangover night.
Mhm.
and,
Good.
and that it really, really, that to me is very, very important. And it allows so many more. It allows the natural my soul, it allows my soul to communicate with me intuitively in feeling like a greater knowing. When I pray and I communicate, I commune to God, it becomes so much more um, powerful, visible, moving, faster, and results are fast. So it's like whatever it is that I'm this my soul destined me to do, or what I'm up to, um, it happens so very fast. I think it's the most practical, most efficient, most wonderful tool I've ever encountered that helps me on a daily basis.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
So
sharing.
you're welcome.
I would like to thank our guest speakers, Andrea and Manette, for contributing their stories and making this Q&A call very interesting for our viewers. Manette and Andrea, you guys were great. You upstaged me. Thank you very much. I love it. And you guys were just absolutely great. Thank you so much. So thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you learned a lot from today's free Q&A call. And we hope to see you next time. Take care.